As I mentioned in my previous video all about this watercolor kit, if you haven't seen it, you could go check it out. I basically reviewed this whole kit and went over it. If you're interested, you can go check out that video, link in description. I mentioned in that video that I was doing little watercolor cards for my patrons, and so on a trip on the flight I painted these. I didn't film anything from it. I still have about 10 more to paint, so this is just a handful. But I also want to try and add some kind of like texture element with some other medium on them. Again. It's been a long time since I've tried oil pastels, and I remember the texture of them I thought I could work with. And since I'm not sure if I'll continue using these, I thought I'd start out with this Crayola set. It was about $6 and came with a lot of different colors, and they're non-toxic. I have seen some oil pastels in the past that were toxic, and it's nice to see that these are non-toxic. They're not as opaque as I would like, but I did end up liking these 3 to 4 colors the most. These oil pastels are pretty good quality, I'd say, especially for the price, and there's 28 colors in here. Definitely, I think this would make a great kit for a beginner. Since I haven't used oil pastels in so long, I kind of forgot that they never dry, and that's something I don't really like using on my artwork, especially when I'm sending originals to patrons. I want these to be dry, and I don't want them to have to deal with a mess in the mail. So I do have to seal these. That kind of makes me not want to use these as much in the future. I do want to mess around with more mixed media pages and just sketching for fun. And so I got this mixed media paper to just put watercolor, pencil, ink, paint, whatever onto these pages. I've never tried this paper brand before, Art Creation Talons. It's 120-pound paper, which was the thickest I saw in the paper aisle. If I do end up liking this paper, maybe I'll make like a more substantial sketchbook to play around in. Also, I really like when the binding is on the short side of the page, not the long side, because it kind of gets in the way. So I love this. I thought these washable paint sticks looked interesting. They're only 6 colors. They're non-toxic, of course, with Crayola. The texture on the picture is what caught my eye. So I was expecting like a rough texture, which is what I was looking for, and they did not disappoint. These were actually really fun to use. It is very much like painting with a glue stick. It's basically a colored glue stick. It's really fun to just get that immediate texture when you paint with them. But for this project with my small little portraits, I didn't use them because these are so tiny and these paint sticks are so big, so it would just take over the whole thing. But for future use, I definitely want to play around with these. And also, I wasn't sure if they would dry like an oil pastel because they do feel kind of waxy. They dry to the touch, and that's great. So I don't have to worry about it transferring. I just bought these on a whim, and I'm glad I did. They were really fun. After messing with these textured mediums, I do think I could have tried just a dry brush acrylic paint on these portraits to get some kind of rough texture. Just because the oil pastel size is so big when I'm trying to draw so small. I probably should have tried something that I have already in my paint stash, but it was fun to experiment with these nonetheless. It's always fun taking an adventure into an art and craft store, so thanks for joining me along in this experiment of textured mediums and little portrait paintings. Hope you had fun, and I will see you guys in the next project. Bye!